This photo of Mick Foley and The Undertaker at Ric Flair's last match is now starting to make sense. If you guys didn't watch Ric Flair's last match live on Fight TV, well, then you may have missed Undertaker being seated ringside next to Bret Hart, next to Mick Foley, and of course, there was that iconic moment between The Undertaker sharing positive words with Ric Flair. 73 years old, wrestling. Guys, it was the most chaotic, very tough to watch thing ever, but you can't deny how much Ric Flair loves this business, and he has officially called it a career. Now, with that being said, Brian Alvarez actually tweeted out basically something about a WWE production team there, and based on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on the internet, it actually appears that WWE could very well be filming content for WWE on Peacock, which actually makes sense because it was said that Undertaker was backstage, and then of course tons of people had shown up and were there as well. Now, keep in mind, Charlotte Flair was not on the actual event. Maybe she was backstage, maybe she wasn't, but she wasn't at the actual event. She didn't get involved in the match. Undertaker didn't get involved in the match. Triple H was not seen on TV, but there is expected to have some sort of WWE involvement with Ric Flair's last match, and I think a lot of that is just for the purpose of content and, of course, documentaries and stuff like that. And then, of course, because of Conrad Thompson being a very smart guy, I think we'll see something come from this, and I think it's really cool. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Ric Flair's last match. I wasn't a fan of the idea of them doing it, but ultimately he chose to do it. It's over with, and the doctors say he is okay. Becky Lynch could very well be injured. This is actually a really interesting story to me because WWE is going to be put in a very big, weird situation if this is serious. Now, this image that you see right here is Becky Lynch obviously having some trouble with her arm. The medical personnel were taking a look at her after the match. And guys, obviously WWE has major plans right now. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and of course Bayley. Triple H is set to make a big splash on WWE Raw. We're going to learn more about their plans for this women's division. I expect that WWE is probably going to make some big changes if, in fact, Becky Lynch is hurt. But I think this is really just building towards a major match for Clash at the Castle. They are talking on the internet about how important it is for WWE to make a big splash in the UK. Obviously, this is the first massive event in the UK for a very, very long time. Being a stadium event, being that this will be Triple H's second pay-per-view, I fully expect a 3-on-3 match for this pay-per-view. Now, who would be the tag team partner for Bianca and Becky? I think Asuka makes the most sense. But if Becky Lynch is hurt, you might need to change course. Triple H, you got to bring back Sasha Banks and Naomi. It makes all the sense in the world. But I'm really actually excited about this. WWE's women's division has not been exciting on WWE Raw, hence the reason why we're getting so many redundant matches. If Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are teaming up with Asuka to take on this new faction, I can't wait to see what they do. Becky Lynch is a babyface now, but she could very well be hurt, and that is going to put a huge twist into the plans if it is a serious injury. And when we find out more, obviously, we'll tell you a little bit more. Today's hot rumor on the internet, Dexter Lumis could potentially be going back to WWE. Yeah, this is actually a really interesting thing. It's just a rumor. There's nothing official here. There's no word from, big sources indicating that WWE has made an offer or anything like that. But basically, there has been a lot of talk about Dexter Lumis and where he stands with the future of WWE, with Triple H taking over creative. And of course, if you know Dexter Lumis, it's pretty open record that he's had a great relationship with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I've also seen talks on the internet that suggest he is still in contact with them today, which seems to be the case with a lot of people who have left WWE, which is honestly a phenomenal thing to have, that type of relationship where even if you don't work together, you keep that friendship. If Dexter Lumis is coming back to WWE, SmackDown, Raw, it doesn't really matter which show it is. But to me, I feel like WWE Raw has felt more important than SmackDown as of late. And I think WWE is going to have to switch up the roster. So I don't know if this is something where Triple H and Stephanie bring him in and just put him on TV right away, just like Johnny Gargano and so many others who could potentially return. I think WWE needs to do something a little bit different here. I think we need to get to that WWE draft, switch up the rosters again, and let's build these pay-per-views. Let's build television the right way. Let's do it on a weekly basis where I think people will truly enjoy the show. And then also, keep in mind, if Dexter Lumis comes back to WWE, you have some storylines from NXT that can still be brought up. Indy Hartwell, Dexter Lumis, you can go back to that if you want. You have Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae and Dexter Lumis. There was a lot that was there. So ultimately, you don't have to act like you don't know who the guy is, despite the fact that he wasn't on the main roster. Also, keep in mind, Dexter Lumis was previously known as Sam Shaw back in TNA. Dexter Lumis was his WWE name. So if he did come back, I wouldn't expect a name change or anything too gradually big there. But anything with Dexter Lumis, I think could be really good. WWE needs some solid big men. Dexter Lumis can work very well. And honestly, I'm shocked that Vince McMahon never brought him up to the main roster. He's a character in its own, and he's a good wrestler. So why not? All right, guys, WWE's Brock Lesnar very well could be retiring. Maybe, maybe not. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people believe that Brock Lesnar is retiring based on his antics and his behaviors post SummerSlam, standing in the ring, tipping the hat to the fans. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about this. If you look at social media, there's a lot of people who believe Brock Lesnar is retiring. However, something that is very, very interesting is that the WWE Day 1 social media promotion from State Farm Arena indicates that Brock Lesnar could be there because he is front and center on the image. Now, keep in mind, Brock Lesnar is not the world champion right now. And Brock Lesnar, I feel like he's always been around the world championship belt, which makes it so weird. The fact that Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman have always been together fighting for the world championship for the last several years, having him on TV, on a pay-per-view where he is not competing for a world championship, you got to do the big money matches. And what big money matches are there left for Brock Lesnar? This was one of the biggest issues with WWE not building up stars properly for these mega matches. But listen, if I'm WWE, I think what you got to do here is start building up some talent. There's a lot of names that you could bring back. There's a lot of people that haven't been used. Start building up some names. WWE Day 1 takes place in January. It's August right now. WWE's Day 1 last year was actually really good. I'm excited about this pay-per-view making its return. But I think if Brock Lesnar is not actually retiring, you got to use him the right way. This Brock Lesnar, that's a babyface. He's fun. He's having a run of his career. He's actually having good matches. He doesn't need Paul Heyman anymore. You know, babyface Brock Lesnar could be a really cool thing, man. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, but I look forward to it. So I do want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for rocking with me. More wrestling news on a daily basis. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that bell, all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time right here on youtube.com/AngleYT. And don't forget to join us on Discord in the description down below.